Welcome, Central Indiana sports fans, to a recap of the Alexandria Tigers 66-47 win over the Frankton Eagles on Friday night. Coming up, Kyle Williams from Alexandria has a recap, followed by post-game comments from Frankton head coach Brent Brobston. Before we get to that, just want to let you know what's going on at the Central Indiana Sports Report. And what's going on is I have a new daily podcast called Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. 10 to 30 minutes every day, my friends and I talk about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. The Pacers, Fever, Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, high school sports, national sports, whatever Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. That's what my friends and I are talking about. Please give it a listen. I think you'll like it. Also, we have recaps of the Elwood Oak Hill game and Blackford Northwestern game from Friday night, and a reaction to the IU Purdue game, Purdue's big win over the Hoosiers, with our Purdue guy Jake Dunn and our IU guys Grant Schaus and Mike Hutzel. It was a lot of fun. The IU guys just did not want to let us celebrate the victory. A lot of fun. Frankton's 9-game winning streak came to an end on Friday night with really just an awful night. The Eagles came into the game a little banged up and sick, and they left even more banged up. Injuries: an ankle injury for Blake Nickham, a thumb injury for Ashton Brobston. Doesn't look good for either one, as Coach Brobston mentioned. Coming up here in a few minutes, we will have an update for you on Tuesday following the Eagles game at Shenandoah. Frankton now 16-5 heading into that game against Shenandoah, their penultimate game of the regular season, their last road game of the year. They finished the season on Friday at home against Blue River Valley. I'll be back on Tuesday with a recap of Frankton Shenandoah. Then on Thursday, the Frankton Eagles report. Please stay tuned for Kyle Williams with a recap of Alexandria's 66-49 win over Frankton. Then Frankton head coach Brent Brobston. Welcome back, Kyle. That is a really big win for the Alexandria Tigers, and they've really played well since that stretch in early January when they played, 6 games in 7 days or something like that. Since recovering from that, they've played awfully well.
Yeah, they played really well. You know, they had Sheridan come in here last week, and that was a game that you kind of expected that to go either way. The Tigers ended up on top with that. They've had some really good play off the bench. Marty's gone and mixed up the starting lineup a few times here over the last couple weeks. And I think just going with who's been practicing well, who's hot, who's been playing smart, and it's working out. And Tigers are really looking good here the last couple weeks.
Especially tonight. What did they do so well?
I think a lot of it was pressure. There was a lot of the full court press, Alexandria getting in passing lanes and getting up in the player on defense, and just having active hands and, touching the ball, tipping it away, getting a loose ball, getting on the floor for it, and just getting in passing lanes and putting a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, that could really be a strength for this team. When they're good, it really starts with the defense, because that team is really athletic.
Yeah, really athletic. There's several really good jumpers. We got guys that were only 6'2", I think, is our tallest guy, but a lot of them jump, get after the ball, really elevate to get those boards. That helps, and then you got just the sense of court awareness of being able to go and be able to jump pass, and anticipate where that pass is going, and really cut them off.
Kyle, who played well for the Tigers?
Bryson Eckler played really well tonight. And Connor Kettery had a really good night tonight. Both of them had 4 3-pointers apiece, and both of them had a couple and ones. And those boys really played well tonight. Jackson Brizardine had 10 tonight. Mason Fuller had, but Bryson Eckler led the Tigers tonight with 21, and Connor had 17.
And for Frankton?
Trey Bennett led the way for Frankton tonight. He had 25, and he's a big guy, um, big bodied, is gonna take up a lot of space, athletic, and he can be a problem for a lot of teams just because of his size and athletic ability. They had a couple guys go out with injuries, um, missed a little bit of time. I know that Brobston's son, Ashton Brobston, looked like he had like a thumb issue or a wrist issue, and didn't see a whole lot of time in the second half. Blake Nickham, I think, may have also gone out. He didn't see much time in the second half. And they had one player foul out tonight. Yeah, it was Birch. But Frankton's always going to bring just tough play. They're going to be a tough team to play any night that they come in. They're well coached. They've got athletes. They've got heights. And when they come in and it's an Alexandria Frankton game, emotions are going to be high. There's just going to be a lot of chippiness probably to it. But both those boys, it's an important game for both teams. And it's bragging rights, I guess. It's not so much of a rivalry like Frankton and LaPel may be, but it's a game you want to win. And there's a lot of emotion in that. It was evident tonight. There was a lot of chippiness. There was some talking.
Yeah.
But both teams behaved pretty well tonight, really.
Like I said in the preview, you could probably walk from one school to the other. It's going to be a rivalry, even if it's not arch rivals and it's not a heated rivalry. Without question, a game you want to win. And Alexandria tonight is at Tri Central, another game that they'll be expected to win as they head toward a sectional, Kyle, that they probably feel like they can win as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough sectional because you've got Eastbrook in there, you've got Blackford in there, you've got Wapahani in there. And, Wapahani's record maybe doesn't go and really show that they are the team that they have been the last, 3 or 4 years, really. They've been tough. But they're still a team that could go and go and win that sectional. So I think it could be a really tough one. When the Tigers play Frankton like they did tonight, and you see how Frankton played Blackford, it kind of makes you wonder maybe Blackford's not the team that's going to go and just walk away with that sectional. So it's really a toss up.
Thanks so much to Kyle. Hope we get a chance to continue working with him in the future. Now, please stay tuned for Frankton head coach Brent Brobston. Well, Coach, not your best night of the year in multiple ways.
No, Alexandria played really well, and they deserve a lot of credit for how good they played. Unfortunately for us, we felt like we're a little bit shorthanded. Obviously, we didn't have Blake Nickham, so the majority of the game he battled an ankle sprain there, and then we didn't have Ashton in the second half, or a couple minutes into the second half, so that didn't help us by any means. But I don't want to take anything away from Alec because I thought they played a great game and deserved to win, and not having those guys obviously hurts us, but it's not the difference. Alec deserved what they got, and they won, and Coach Carroll did a good job with his team tonight.
Can you tell me the status of Blake and Ashton?
It doesn't look real promising. Blake, ankle injury. He had the flu coming in anyway, so we had multiple kids that were coming in not feeling real well today, unfortunately. It's that timing, and it's hitting people at different times, so he was one of them. So to go along with that with an ankle sprain, I don't know. I don't know that those two guys will be able to play next week. I think we're going to have to closely monitor that. Ashton's thumb's a possible break. We'll have to get an X-ray. Get X-rayed hopefully tomorrow or this weekend, and then go from there. So let's obviously cross our fingers that we get both those guys back, because that's two guys that are pretty important to us that we could have used a lot tonight.
Well, Coach, all year you've been bragging about your team's depth and what the kids behind your varsity players could do, and here's their chance.
Yeah, Osborne played a great JV game. He came in the varsity game, gave us some minutes, but we were never in sorts tonight. I really did a poor job game planning for this game. Thought I did a poor job for the kids. Did not have them ready to play, unfortunately. And we spent some time on things that we didn't need to work on that we got prepared for. We got away from what we do. And so I don't think we were prepared in our man defense like we needed to be. And then offensively, we never ran anything that we typically would run. We tried some stuff differently tonight that we should not have done. We needed to stay and do what we do to be successful. So Fair and Osborne got quite a few minutes in the second half, obviously with those two out. And I thought those kids, they worked their butts off. And Trey Bennett was phenomenal. Melvin played hard as normal, like he always does, and so did Stansberry. And so did Birch. But tonight, Ellis was the better team, and they played better than we did, and they deserved to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot better to happen on February 20th than in March, right?
Yeah, that's what I told the kids. Look, here's the deal. Look at the scores all the time. Things happen. We beat Blackford by 31 at Blackford. I'm sure that turned people's heads. Tonight's game with Oak Hill and Elwood, talking to someone about that was, I think Elwood had the lead at the end of the first quarter.
They were down 2, but they did have the lead midway through the first quarter. Yeah.
And I saw other scores tonight. Like there was scores that we saw tonight that were pretty close that things just happen. You see it in college basketball. You see it in high school basketball. And it happens, and you just got to regroup and push on. Alec's been on the other end of that too with us, where we beat them at this time of year too. And they've had to regroup and push on. And tonight they beat us. We got to regroup and push on. But the thing with this game is it's really it was great for us to play it and to be on the road and play at Alec. That was really good for us. And it was also good to get on film. Obviously, some stuff that we did not do well. But at the end of the day, I think I did a really poor job preparing my team tonight. I take a lot of the blame for getting them ready. And I didn't do a very good job with that. And so, as a coaching staff, we got to be better at that too for Tuesday.
Well, then let's move on from that and let's talk a little bit about Alexandria. That's a team playing awfully well and a team that probably feels like it's a serious contender to win that sectional.
Yeah, they're in a tough sectional. They're going to be on the road. It's not at Ellick. It'll be at Eastbrook, I think, is where the sectional is. They're playing well right now, but so are the other teams. You've got an Eastbrook team that's coming around again and playing well again down the stretch. You got a Blackford team with a legit big-time Division I recruit. You got Wapahani, who's very good with a great tradition. So that's going to be a tough sectional for anyone to win. And in the end, I'm happy for Coach Carroll because obviously he's a friend of mine that means a lot to me. And I think that his team is playing well. And I think that he has been playing well at the right time. So it wouldn't surprise me that they could go in and win that sectional. They've got the kids to do it. And tonight I thought, and I told Coach Carroll this too, but like Eckler tonight played really well, and this was a big night for him. I don't know what he had for sure, but he made big shot after big shot when it was needed. And he's got it. I think what they did well tonight was that no matter who they brought in off the bench, the kids all played together and played hard and played well. So they're getting that done at the right time, and hopefully for them, they'll have a chance to make a run.
Coach Brobston, let's talk again on Tuesday.
Hey, sounds good, Greg. Thanks for the coverage.
And thanks to Coach Brobston and the Frankton Eagles for making us feel welcome and working with us on this awesome podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a Central Indiana sports fan in your life and help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. And please check out my new daily podcast, Greg and his friends talk sports. 10 to 30 minutes every day. My friends and I are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. What's the donut? I got like 40 seconds for the music ends. I almost timed it again. We're almost at 2,000 podcasts. I'm like almost a full minute off.
Great.
I missed you this week.
Did ya?
I did.
I missed you too. Definitely missed
She's the best.
you. You're the best.
Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.